welcome everyone. This is Shaniqua here.
And this is Crystal.
We are here today to discuss Did I Find Me Yet? And as you already know, this podcast is called F No. So let's get into it.
All right. So my daughter's friend asked her, in this chapter of her life, what would it be entitled? If she were to write a book, what would the chapter be?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, that's such an interesting question. And so I said, well, what would mine be? And I had to really think about it, like what season of life I'm in, what's going on. And mine was, did I find me yet? And I realized as a mother, as a grandmother, as a wife at one point, as a daughter, I have just spent a lot of my life taking care of everyone, right? And so where I was said, did I find me yet, is because, I've recently went through a breakup and I had to basically relearn everything about me. What do I like? What do I not like? Because a lot of times I would do stuff and I would be, even down to the food that I would eat, it would be because these other people liked it. And I have been such a people pleaser in my life. That's what I did. So I've had to take a moment over this past summer to really realize, okay, no, I didn't like those things. Or yeah, I did like those things, but let me give an example of certain movies that were watched. They were cool. It was okay, but it wasn't what I would watch. Yeah, just stuff that I wouldn't watch. I'm a goofball. I like Marvel. I like, action. I like true crime. I don't like scary movies.
Love them.
Do not. I will be in there like this. And jumping, I just can't. But I would watch these things because it would make other people happy if I did that. And I said, you know what? It's just time for me to find out who I am, what I like, and what I really love to do.
That's beautiful. So with that being said, I feel like one of the biggest things when we talk about Did I Find Me Yet? As everyone, guys know, I'm a 35-year-old woman. I have a teenage daughter. I had her at 18 years old. So my life has been motherhood. I got pregnant at 17. And from there, it always has been pretty much survival mode and creating a better lifestyle for my daughter than I had. And so with that being said, I'm a family person also. So my steps in life has always been to make sure that I am the best mother that I know how to be, and better than the examples that was brought into my life as well. And not that I had bad examples, not at all. I mean, of course, we struggle. I mean, everybody know that back in the day, love was tougher than some, and then generations of generations, and you go from there. But
wait, so really quick, so do you believe in gentle parenting then?
Now I do. I do now because I did not before. I do now because my daughter has found herself. But prior to, no, I did not believe in that. But now I feel like we can have that gentle parenting. But I think there's levels to that. And also there's levels to showing your daughter that you have it, your child, anybody, and go from there. But basically, back on that topic as well, just did I find me yet? That is a strong topic. And I feel like so many of us get lost in today's world, in the society of being women. I can speak for myself, a Black woman, a young woman, a teenage mother, a business owner, an entrepreneur, just trying to find yourself in so many ways, a relationship, a wife. We get so lost in that. The best daughter you can be, along with whatever else titles that they throw at us. And I'm a title junkie, not gonna lie. So whatever title I have, I try to embrace those titles 100%. So if I'm an auntie, I'm trying to be the best auntie in the world. If I'm a wife, I'm trying to be top tier wife. If I'm a mama, I am flying with my daughter on my back, So I take titles top tier, but when I put those titles at the top tier, I did not put a title on myself.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And so I didn't matter, but everything and everybody else's titles matter. And so that is one reason that we brought in F No, because what I realized is I had to stop. I can still be a great wife and still say F No. I can still be a great mom, a great daughter, and whatever else title God throws at me, I can still be those things, but I definitely have to have boundaries in order to be those things. And I believe number one is within this subject is being a victim. When you are the victim in a situation, you don't understand yourself because you're blaming your past, you're blaming your situation or anything on what has happened to you. So, for instance, I'm gonna use an example. Me being a teenage mom, I wasn't 100% in victim mode for being a teenage mom, but in some parts I was because of what was going through in my life at the time. I made an excuse to say I didn't have to get pregnant. I didn't have to deal with that person, but I did. And so sometimes we don't even know we're in victim mode until we're ready to change. You be like, dang, this stuff been holding me back because I've been blaming this, blaming my childhood. And don't get me wrong, it's real. I mean, that is what makes us, right? It's how we come up, what we do, and all of that. But it doesn't define us. And so that's when we have to ask those questions. How do I, what is it that's going to define me to be better and also not give that generational beat up situation to our kids and so on.
Ooh. So, okay, to piggyback off what you're saying, I was a mother at 15. So I honestly grew up with my daughter, right? So it wasn't like I had a chance to grow up, figure out who I was, and then, you know, I was too young. Oh my God, I can't even imagine now if one of my kids. But so 15, growing up with my daughter to the point where now, as my daughter is parenting, I'm in just such awe because I'm like, oh my God, these are the things that I wish I would have done for you. Like she's such a great parent, but she's still teaching me through, you know, through her parenting. And that's where I say for me, it's like hard because I couldn't find myself because I really didn't know who I was from the beginning. I didn't give myself enough time to figure out who I was, where I was going. And regarding the victim portion of it, my other problem, and I think some people may have, is that I didn't think I was a victim. In a lot of situations where I was, example, domestic violence, I felt bad for that person because I'm like, oh, they're mentally just really going through something. They don't love themselves. They don't da-da-da-da. Meanwhile, I'm over here not loving myself because I'm allowing these things to happen because I'm too worried about other people. But if we go back to if I actually found out who I was or knew who I was, that wouldn't even be a situation at all.
Correct.
Because I would have walked away. So I do have a question for you though. Do you ever feel like you had to be strong even when you were breaking inside?
Most definitely. I will say probably most of my life has been that way from definitely once, honestly, before I had a kid, it was like that. Because sometimes when you are a child and your family is going through things, you have to learn to adapt and accept. Even when, and I say this, and this is why I teach my daughter the way I teach my daughter. And I say this, and I always use my child for the most because that's like the most important thing to me, is that a lot of people be like, well, I'll just say like my brothers or whatever, they think that I am, I teach her in a weird way, in a way that we were not taught. So basically they make fun of me and they think that I let her run the situation, but in reality I don't. But going back to your question is, a lot of times, even as kids, we're put in situations where we have to bite our tongue because we are kids.
Yeah.
They never take the time growing up to say, okay, well, we're about to move to Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm just giving an example. I moved there and I don't regret it. I had a good time in the meantime. But we up and move or things because they're in survival mode or they're not thinking that the kids matter. And so there's situations where we go into it and we're like, okay, well, I'm here. I don't like this school. I can't make new friends. And nobody really cares as a kid. So right there, that's when it starts, right?
It does start.
That's when it
kid,
starts.
for sure.
Then you go into your next session in life, teenage mode. Still nobody cares. Your teacher really ain't listening. Your mama's not really listening. You just a teenager, you think you grown. That's how we were raised most of the time. But in reality, I'm not trying to be grown. I'm just trying to let you understand and feel me as I'm understanding myself.
Right.
But we were dummied down so much that nobody really didn't pay attention to the things that we were into. And then it went into adulthood. You carry that with you. So then what you do, you find relationships that's doing the exact same thing to you. Yes. So it's been a life situation.
Yeah, it's true. I agree with that. I remember it's not even a big deal, but when you said that you learned it as a child. So when I was the oldest, I was an older sibling, and my daddy came to me one day and he said, "Hey, I know school is about to start. Mm-hmm. Okay, I know you really need some new clothes and you really need some new shoes for school, but your sisters really need it more. Are you okay if we just wait another month or so to get you something?" What? In my head, I'm like, no. My clothes are raggedy. I got the same pair of shoes from last year. Like, what? This is not happening. Right. Literally at them kids. But of course I was like, okay, Daddy. Okay. If that's what they need. And so that's where it started for me of like take care of whoever first, because they have to be taken care of. Mm-hmm. For a little while, my mother had left us to move out of state to help my grandfather with a newspaper that I don't know whatever became of it. Yeah. But she was gone for a year. And during that time, it was me and my sisters and my daddy. And he knew how to barbecue. Mm-hmm. That's it. He knew how to get salads, right? He knew how to get salads. He knew how to give me the check. But this is where I learned how to make payment arrangements. Because he'd say, "This is the money I got." And I was like 13, 14, right? And my siblings, I had to get them up and get them ready. So again, it's putting me on the back burner to make sure that they're taken care of. And this is what I learned and what I knew.
You were parenting already.
Mm-hmm. Then I had my own kid. And then it was like, it's just, you're right. The cycle just does continue to repeat itself.
It does, until you have to put a stop into it. Until you say, and that's going back into that question that you asked me. Some people don't agree with the way I parent. But I can say like,
gentle parenting.
Correct. Because I do. I mean, I'm not like I was strict though. Don't get me wrong. My daughter was not. She's still one friend house she can go over. You know what I mean? Because that's where you kind of lose control. When you start letting your kids, and parenting is changing. So I'm still gentle, but I'm strict at the same time.
You know what? I have a teenage daughter right now as well. And you know what she told me?
What?
She's like, "Ugh, Mom," she tells me all the time, "You're the only parent that has to talk to the parents. You're the only parent that wants to meet them." I'm like, because they're crazy.
Yeah.
What?
The generation.
You need to meet these. You don't know where you're going. Crazy things happen under your own roof.
And you
know
what
I mean?
Yeah.
And so you want me to, they got brothers and stepdads and no, sis.
And even girls, women are crazy too. I don't trust any part of it in any way. If I can't talk to the parents, if I can't get a vibe for them, Correct. If they can't look me in my eye, you're not going.
Hello?
And that's it. And honesty. So what I learned to do when it came to parenting is that I gave her examples, something that was not given to me. I didn't say no just to say no. I told her why I said no. So for instance, I said, "Hey, Honesty," that's my daughter's name. Don't Google it. So for instance, I said, "Hey, if I get some friends and I start drinking, smoking, dinner's not being cooked, I'm coming home at 4 a.m, I'm not being the mother that you knew that I was.
Yeah.
And I start changing, how are you going to feel about those friends?" "Oh, Mama, you're going to have to get some new friends. That's a no-no." I said, smart, rolled the tongue. I said, okay, well, I'm glad you understand, because that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Your friends is too fast? No.
Absolutely.
So, but you know what? We'll sit there and we'll talk, and she got it. She understood.
Yeah.
And that's me and her now. She got her little smart days, but we talk. That's how we talk. We communicate. My baby be 17 years old. She still gets in my bed. She still falls on my face. She still give me a kiss. She call me queen, and she a queen. I said, "No, you're a princess," but whatever. We got to argue about that every 5 minutes. But she still do these gentle things that I didn't even want to do, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's things we communicate about that I definitely was not comfortable communicating about with my mom. And not that it was bad, it's just that I opened up a relationship. My child comes home and I know what boys she talked to. I know what boy her friends talk to. I know what boys this talk to. I know what girls this. I know everything. And she's like, "Mama, you is not gonna like what's her name no more." That's how she talk. Like, this is our conversation. So as I'm taking it in, I'm not also, yes, I'm a mom, so I'm definitely judging what she's saying in a way. And don't give me that judging is bad. We can have a whole episode about that. Yes, I'm definitely taking it in. But I'm also giving her my advice and listening and not downplaying what she's saying so she can always feel comfortable, keep coming to me about it.
And do you feel like by you doing this, it's changing, her mental aspect or how she may raise her kids or how she may grow in life with her future significant others?
Most definitely. She's not used to nothing dysfunctional, and I have to pat myself on the back. You raise your voice too loud, she's thrown off. Because anybody who dated me, it don't matter if we argued or not, everybody knew. When honesty's at home, when honesty's in that room, if any way you wanted to get away from me, that would be your best way to do. Act up in front of my child.
Fair.
Everybody knew that. I don't care. They could be on 5,000 pills and smoking the best dope you know. They knew that if they act up in front of mine, they would not talk to Shaniqua ever again. And I stood on that.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, when I say smoke and whatever, I've dealt with some people, but even those people knew.
They knew. Don't get it twisted.
They knew when it came to honor. That's I'm her protector. And I stand on that. I do. But when we come to, I do want to ask you a question as well, and just y'all question and people in general. When it comes to being a victim, what would you say if you can go back to your time of accepting domestic violence? That's and again, I always tell you I'm sorry to hear that. I don't wish that on anyone. I've been in situations, but not to the top tier, the stories that I've heard. But that's hard, right? Going through a divorce, all of these things are so hard. If you was to say from your relationships, raising your kids, and now that you're understanding, where do you feel like you got lost in all of the things that you've been through in childhood? And even though that you felt that you were not a victim, when at that time you was, because you were not, you're 13 years old doing things that a wife should be doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And sometimes even then the siblings don't even understand how much you sacrifice. So you never get that complete comfort of, okay, well, at least if I'm doing it, they know that I got them. You know what I mean? They don't understand that. Because they're growing up and seeing you doing it thinking that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So where do you feel that you took that on in your adulthood that made you challenge so much in life?
Oh my gosh. That's really a deep question, honestly. Ooh.
And I ask these questions because I feel like that's one part of healing. It's to know where it even started.
I think that dang, I'm like so lost for words right now. I really have to think about this because I've just been through so much, and I don't think about until after the situation has happened. I don't think about like, dang, like I was really dealing with some shit.
Yes, I know some stories, but yeah,
And here's the crazy thing: my mother was in a domestic. After my daddy, because he's the best. But she was in a relationship with this guy, and he was hitting on her. And I went to the house. You better not. I'll whoop whoop. You know, I was. I wish you would.
Superman.
I wish you would. Okay, y'all know what that I wish you would means. Okay, I wish you would. And I thought I was Superwoman. Like you couldn't tell me nothing. And she was like, stop, don't do that. She was scared. And I'm like, how? Like, how you gonna let this man blah 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 blah?
Yeah.
And then I literally chewed up my words. Like I chewed them and choked on them when I got older. Because I realized that like, yo, it's not just the physical aspect, it's mental. Like it breaks you down, it tears you down. And I stayed with that person for 8 years because I felt bad for them. I thought they were going to
change.
No, I didn't think he was gonna change.
Okay.
I just knew he was dealing with some stuff mentally. I knew he didn't feel loved. I knew that he felt like he wasn't accepted. And and because of all these things, and he was a good person. It wasn't like he was like that all the time. he cooked, he cleaned, he knew how to grow a garden, he could fix my car, he did it all. He was a great person. He really was, until he was not that person. Right. And I think that that's why I dealt with it for so long. And I had to come to the terms of like, girl, you so worried about these people. You so worried about what's going on with them. And if they're going to survive, that you're about to die. Like literally, you're about to die. It was a moment. The moment I decided to finally leave, he didn't even touch me that day. He hadn't. But I felt like he was on his way to wreak havoc. Like it. And I knew, had he got to my house, and he was coming to my house where my teenage son, who was not about to be for the shenanigans, was at. You bringing that over here to my kids for them to see? Absolutely not.
So how old were you when you started dating him?
29 or 30. I'm currently 43.
Yeah,
so
that's fairly late. And so how old were you when you separated?
Shoot, I don't know.
In your 30s, probably.
Yeah.
30s.
Yeah, definitely 30s. Yeah.
So what do you feel like? Because at that point, you've been in relationships.
Yeah.
What put you in a position to even entertain that? Because you didn't experience that before that person, right?
No, I didn't. Now, emotional abuse, yeah. Like, but you don't think, again, when you're going through it, that's emotional abuse, right? Like, cheating, I don't care what anybody says. Like when you cheat to a certain, you emotionally, like that's emotionally, you killing me inside. But physical, no, I hadn't. However, I had known this person for a very long time.
Gotcha.
And I felt safe. This was one of my safe people.
Yeah.
This was like if I had, and that should have let me know then. But if I had any problem at any moment, it doesn't matter what time of day it is, they was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously for the shits, right? Yeah. So should have known. There were some other things like in hindsight that I should have known. But because there was such a great person in my life at the time, I didn't fear that I had to fear. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. So my question though is, listening to that, where were you a victim at when you were dating him? It was him, but it was something that allowed you. It was something that basically you were still dealing with for you to even accept it until you stop dealing with it.
You know, you think a person needs you. Gotcha. And I knew for a long time that I felt good when a person needed me.
Because
it made me feel like
you were needed as a kid.
Yeah. I was needed as a kid, right? And it also made me feel like I was important. If you needed me, I was important to you. Not if I was just genuinely me, I was important to you. But if you needed me, then I was important. And that's where I put my importance and where I put my self-worth at the time. And so, yeah, it's crazy when you, like, it goes back to your childhood. Yeah. Because, yeah, it definitely is.
That's where it usually starts. And that's really one of the reasons that we chose this topic. Of did I find me yet? Being a victim, because that's where it starts. And just to get a little deeper in mind, that's where mine started. And not that I had bad parents, because their storyline is way worse than mine. And they tried to love me the best way they knew how, but they never really got the support they needed to be able to teach me in a better way.
Yeah.
To understand that even though that I'm a kid, my opinion, my life matters as well.
Yeah.
Of course they knew it mattered, like don't get the kid killed, feed her, clothe her,
do the basics.
They knew that, but when it came to your feelings, the positions that you're putting into, and every decision I make is based off of my child, right? Yeah. Every decision I be wanting to up and leave. I'm a big city girl. You hear me? I know that. But also my daughter is about to be 17 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm at that point in my life, I'm like, I'm ready. But I got to talk to my child because I can't just up and root. She's 11th grade. Same. I'm going to have to wait. So I'm okay with that.
And I want to say, for me, that's a difference between my kids that, I have a 28-year-old, 24-year-old. And when they were young, we just moved. We moved so much. And we've been able to, with Stevie, she's now 16,
Yeah.
it's been the most stable. We've moved, twice, I think.
Yeah.
But she's been in the same school district with the same friends.
And do you see a change in that with her than other kids?
Well, one, she's very spoiled.
Okay.
Super spoiled.
Okay. I understand.
But I think the difference is that, like, I asked earlier about gentle parenting because I watched my oldest daughter, parents her kids, and they can express themselves in such a way. And at first, I was like, girl, whoop
that's
that
honesty.
butt. Pop that ass.
That's how they feel.
But
sometimes.
like as time has gone on and as they've gotten older, they feel now they're now 9 and 4, and they feel very confident in expressing how they feel. They don't feel like they can't speak up for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we learned when we were younger that you can't speak up for yourselves, right? So now Stevie also has that freedom to be able to express. Now I do have to say, hey,
yeah, sometimes we get out of
check
control.
your tone,
My
because
like
it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell her all the time, I want you to express yourself, but you have to do it in a respectful way. You have to learn how to do it in a respectful way. So I think that's the difference, is being able to provide that consistency for her, because I want to up and move too. And everybody's like, why don't you move from where you at? Why don't you do it? No, because she's a junior now. She got a year and a half, and baby girl is not on her own.
We can move the kids, and they not. And next thing you know, her senior year is done. She don't even graduate. Like all of that plays a factor. And my daughter puts, like, we write down pros and cons. We do so many things for us and now that I'm in the position, I am. So from going from a 2-person household to a 1-person household has been something different. But now I'm in a position that I am truly focused on her, because like divorces are not easy, and shoot, I'm not gonna lie, fighting for my divorce, it took 2 years of me, like 2 good years of just understanding everything. You know what I'm saying? Just understanding, bringing it back. And so now my biggest thing, and I say my brother, well, you're not meant to be alone. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not. But I'm not meant to jump in relationships neither.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I'm meant to, right now, I don't care to date until my daughter's finish with school, to be honest, because it takes so much out of you. And because I'm still a loving individual, I don't want to put all of that in nobody else right now. I just personally don't. And now if someone, God blesses me with somebody, and they come in and it's easy and it flows and then fine. But if it looks too damn difficult, I'm out of there. You know what I mean? Like, friendless it is. You hear me? I already know. I don't have it. I'm like, whoo. I love to love, and I still want to be. It's great people that come into your life, and you still want to be great friends because they're amazing people. But hey, I can't, because now I understand that majority of my life, I'll be 35 in a few weeks. Ooh. Majority of my life has been in victim mode and loving everyone else. But me. Yeah. And if a person can't come in and understand that, shoot, it was a story, and if she listens, she'll know I'm talking to her. She posted, and she has a man, and they're so beautiful, and I told her I love her love story. And she don't work. Not because she's a bum. Not because she don't like working. It's because this guy understood what she been through and let her take a break.
Okay, baby. These are goals. Give me a break.
Please, and don't get me wrong. I won't be a person that breaks and don't make money. Right. But I'll be a person that don't have to worry about this, that, because that's all we have done.
Right.
And when you're in a victim mindset, your whole thing is you're blaming others. You're making mistakes.
Yep.
You're not finding yourself, and you're loving on everybody else but yourself.
So with that statement, what are some of the lies that you told yourself to get by through while you're in victim mode? So
on all levels of position, so from parenting to, and my baby girl, man, I will talk about her 100%. She's so awesome. I said, okay, I'm about to buy these shoes. She said, good. Me as a mama. She's like, I'm like, well, do you like them? Because we were the same size. I'm ready to give them to her. I'm like, well, do you like them? She's like, I like them, but mama, I just told you need some shoes. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, but I'm ready. If you like them, you can have them. I'm just buying for you. That's me. I'm always trying to get her something. And my kid loves me so much. I think that honestly, that baby of mine has helped me understand the love I deserve, to be honest. But to answer your question, just because I thought about her, she just warms me up. But just because I thought about her, but my whole thing is, I think that I have told myself to give people time. I don't think I even told myself anything. I just gave people time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to just give this an example. And don't get me wrong, my ex is not a bad person. But there's just things that I accepted. So for instance, we'll be like, I'll be 35 this year. I have celebrated everybody's birthday. Big. I mean, we going out of town. We feeding alligators. Whatever we can do. I have been a hype man for everybody's birthday, but ain't nobody been a hype man for mine.
Yeah.
This was my 35 years. This is supposed to be the hype day for mine. Well, we didn't make it. Pending myself. And we didn't even make it.
Yeah.
To my 35th birthday.
Yeah.
I pinned it myself, right? So I think the worst thing I did for myself is I put myself more so on a back burner. I don't even know if I told myself anything. I just allowed everybody to put me on a back burner. Just in general, from a childhood to, and that's where it started. And that's where it took my divorce. It took separation from family members. It took so much for me to really realize that I've been in victim mode. I haven't loved myself 100%.
Yeah.
And that I have lived for everybody else. It took that. God, I mean, and I say this and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. My divorce was definitely hard for me.
Yeah.
But it probably was one of the best things that happened to me. Because I probably was still been cheering everybody on until everybody walked away and didn't second guess to say if Shaniqua was okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't understood it.
They say, there's a saying, it's like, this breakup was the blessing I never knew I needed.
I'm telling you, it is. Like, I promise, to me, that's, and I trust me, it's just to this day, it's going on 2 years, it's still hard. It's like, Jesus. Definitely when you look into life and you're like, okay, this is it. This is the person.
Yeah.
Through thick and thin, this is my person. I don't care. And it just doesn't go that way. You be like, what?
Well, I understand.
I ain't think about nobody else, and I'm not a people's person. I really don't like people. If you get to know me, I love people.
She is not telling the truth.
No, I am. So, two different sides of me. Love you, business, networking, do love you.
Yeah.
Home-wise, and nobody comes to my house.
That's fair. That's fair.
Me. I'm fair. Now I will invite you certain people, but I am not a people's person. I'm not a dater. I really don't like people. I don't really, I like, hi, nice to meet you. That's it. And then I'm on about my business. Like, I think, but was that a good thing? I don't know that though. That's what I want to change. Like, I want to date. I want to understand. I want to build friendship. It's something I never really did.
I feel like dating in 2025 is way different than like,
I don't even know.
Dating. I don't either.
I ain't got nothing to compare it to.
I
was young. I got in relationships. I got in a relationship, bam, 4 years. Got in a relationship, bam, 4 more years. Got in a relationship, married, 7 years. I don't know, to be honest. So
a serial relationship.
Correct. I mean, I was single.
Serial monogamy.
I had my moments when I was single, but then I still didn't take the time. For me, it was like, oh God, single, hustle on bills, kids, life, jobs. We weren't taught careers growing up. That's what I'm trying to teach. Like, my eye doctor, just an example. I'm like, okay, I love my eye doctor. I'm like, okay, so what do you do? He's my doctor. And he owns the dang place. I'm like, what? Nobody didn't tell me I could be a doctor and own the facility. They didn't tell me that. They did not create career and entrepreneurship together. They said jobs, just little stuff. I'm
school.
Like, yeah.
School,
so now
college,
I'm understanding,
work.
I'm trying to educate myself. And that education I'm doing myself, I'm trying to give it all to my baby girl.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach her. And so like I said, back into parenting, a lot of people don't agree with that because they're still stuck in how we were taught.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, it's bigger than that.
Yeah.
It's so much bigger. I'm like, I did not know this.
I think
I could have been an eye doctor in the facility. Oh, I'm still mad about it. It ain't too late though. I'm just saying.
It's not.
It ain't too late. I'm just saying they didn't teach us that. I'm like, what?
Yeah, we didn't. It was very, you go to and back when I was growing up, it wasn't a big thing for vocational or unions or any of that. It was like, you go to school, you go to college, you get your career, you work 9 to 5. Nobody ever told me that I could be an entrepreneur and making the same amount of money in 2 days that I could make in a whole 2 weeks at a job. What?
Yeah.
What? That's crazy. I agree with that.
Entrepreneurship is definitely not for the weak, but it is definitely a beautiful thing if you can do it. But I think that when you love yourself, and that's the whole point about saying F no to, because that's really what it is. And this is really about women empowerment, because we are downplayed a lot. And I'm not saying that men are not loved, and because I love my men, but us as women are definitely downplayed a lot. And not only are we downplayed by other people, we're downplayed by ourselves.
Correct. And
that is the hardest part, is I can come into the room and steal the room. But when I leave out that room, if I don't have confidence behind that, I ain't doing no follow-ups.
Correct. You know what my ex told me? So I, this year we split up at the beginning of the year. It's been a really rough year. Mm-hmm. And a couple things. So my ex told me, our relationship would be so much better if you had more confidence. Mm. And at first I was like, well, excuse the hell out of you. Nobody wants to hear that. No, what? And then, I had to really do self-reflection. I said, oh my God, for real. Because a lot of the little nitpicking, like, oh, was you looking at that? Oh, what you think she did it? Oh, you think
gorgeous.
Her? And you think, thanks.
You are, I tell you that all the time.
A lot of those things would happen, and it would be because I wasn't secure with me, and it shouldn't matter. Like, women are beautiful by now. I look at women as they walk by. I mean, too. Women are beautiful, right? So, I think for men to naturally look at a woman, I feel like that's not disrespectful, but just to like, oh, she's beautiful. I should be able to be like, oh my God, you're right. She is so beautiful, right? Instead it's, oh, well, you think she's prettier than me. I mean, I wouldn't say those things, but like, this is how I would feel, right? Not
to take that back from you, though. You are right. But also, they still have the same respect, because men do not accept that, though. Like, they don't like, oh, he is nice looking. You see his abs.
No, double standards is always there for men and women.
There you go.
Yes,
so
agree,
you still have. If he looking, it should be always a glance,
right?
Where you almost don't even catch it.
Damn, we looking at you. But like, as somebody walked by, and he was never disrespectful like that.
Yeah.
So I can't even say that he was on that type of level. It was just the fact that when he said it, I was like, well, excuse you. And then so this summer, my oldest daughter, I don't think she realizes, like, I just continue to learn so much from her.
She's gorgeous too. I love her.
She's amazing. Yeah. She is beautiful.
I love her.
And she also has her own hair care, skin care, just so y'all know. She's an entrepreneur as well, a mother. She also works. But I've learned so much from her. She said, Mom, she said, I'm so proud of you, girl. Keep it up, because you are really doing good. You really are. And I had to like stop and reflect on that too. And I was like, dang, this is the longest I've not been in a relationship. And it's only October.
Yeah, and I cuss her out all the time.
It's September. We split in the beginning of, like, the end of January.
I'm
like,
super
what?
proud of you.
What? This is the longest. And for me to think about that is mind blowing. Like, less than a year is the longest I've been single. But I'm telling you, like, it's been eye opening. I needed it. And not that I wanted the breakup, but again, that saying of like, this is a blessing of the breakup I never knew I needed. And I'm not saying that I'm still okay with losing that partner, but I was okay with learning who I am.
Most definitely.
With learning that, like, hey, I have stayed in victim mode, even in the relationship with him. That the domestic violence, like, really does, and he never put his hands on me. He never got in my face. He never got loud. But there were certain things that would happen, and I would like jump or freeze or whatever. And he's like, I'm never going to do these things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, aww. I know. Yeah. So
that's
again, that's like me staying in that victim mode, me staying in that survival mode. And
we're going kickboxing.
Yeah. And not even needing to. And so it affected my relationship, because it kept me in that same cycle, even though this person was trying to pull me out of it because I wasn't ready and I didn't know how to pull myself out of it. He couldn't either.
Yeah.
And I think he just kind of got like, not fed up, but just like, I don't know what to do now because I'm telling you you're beautiful all the time. He even told me that. I said, you don't even tell me I'm beautiful anymore. He said, why? He said, I tell you that you're beautiful and you tell me, no, I'm kind of fat today. No, I'm chunky.
Yeah, I can see that. And you are gorgeous. And who said thickness is not good? I don't know. I'm not trying to be no.
But that goes to not having that self-love, not having that now. Baby, I'm chunky, but baby, I'm chunky and beautiful.
Yes.
Okay, it's a difference. Okay, it's difference. You know,
you feeling yourself.
My head,
for sure.
yeah, my head. I'm holding my head up. You know, when I'm walking, I'm not looking down.
Yeah.
You know, I'm more confident in what I say, and if I don't like something, I'm gonna say, "No, I don't like that."
Yeah.
Versus, "Oh, it's okay."
Yeah.
No, it's not okay because I don't like it.
And that's the thing.
Or yeah, I want to do this. Let's do this. Well, if that person, okay, cool. I got somebody. Like I have a friend that'll go with me, or I have my kids to go. Whatever it is, like I feel more confident now. That even which I'm not ready to be in anybody's relationship right now, but if I were, I'd be a lot more confident to know that like, hey, I got this. I got me because I did it for a long time.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And you got your back. So the point of this is, as y'all know, my name is Shaniqua. That's Crystal, AKA, what's your nickname? No, okay. So
I was like, what is the AKA? Please tell me.
I don't know. We're going to come up with one, y'all. Y'all help me come up with an AKA on both of us.
Be nice.
Don't don't say nothing crazy. But
I'm here for the crazy.
The whole thing is, honestly, is as you see our shirts, it's F no, you know, and you can say F no any day, but we chose Friday because that's the last work day. You experienced every hiccup, person, irritation, anything that could have happened, right? And we want you to say F no too. And definitely for sure, being a victim, it's not too late to look back on your life and say, you know what, I've been in big victim mode. Claim it so you can get out of it. You know, think about where have you been a victim? If it's your marriage, if it's staying at a job too long, if it's parenting, you know, if it's, and sometimes we have to remove people out of our lives that keeps us there.
And that doesn't mean they have to be removed forever, but for your moment.
It just depends. It just depends on where you at. I'm saying
for those people.
As you say, we have two different hearts.
We absolutely do. But you know, there's always people that say, well, this is a good person, but da-da-da-da. And maybe right then is not the time when they're supposed to be together. Maybe years later, you know, they meet again at a coffee shop in Paris and then they decide to reconnect. I'm just saying.
That's beautiful. I mean,
I'm
she
a hopeless
is definitely,
romantic,
for sure,
romantic.
Beauty and the Beast type of chick. I get that, and I'm trying, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not there. That part, I am not there yet. You know, I'm not a Beauty and the Beast type of chick. What am I? More like, yeah, I'm not Sleeping Beauty. I'm none of that. But their love stories are beautiful, and it could happen when a time. I do believe God has the final say so on anybody that's in your life, and forgiveness is number one, right? Forgiveness is number one, but also, I always say characteristics is everything. And if you know me, if you did it once and you can go so bold, like for instance, person that cheats, they rip, slice your tires. That's a characteristics thing. You have to look at that.
I'm just straight to slicing the tire.
I'm just saying, cheating, characteristics. There's things that people do that is in them, and there's people that they don't do things because it's not in them. And when you show me that it's in you, I don't know if Beauty and the Beast is gonna work or Sleeping. You know, the monster. Yeah, I don't know if I can forgive. I can forgive that, but I don't know if I want to ever trust it again. That's my opinion. But at the end of the day,
I would say the number one person to forgive is yourself, and I think that's one way of
healing.
Yeah, healing and getting out of that victim mode.
But victim is the key because you can't find yourself if you're still blaming others. You're still making excuses for your life.
Or blaming yourself.
Yeah. However it is, you have to find that and go back into where did it start so you can be better off. And it's never too late. I don't care if you're 55. I don't care if you're 18. It's never too late.
I agree. I agree. So, I would say my F no moment is always going to be to domestic violence, but my F no moment to myself was to stop talking so negative about myself. You know, and my one of my siblings talks negative about herself often, and I always say, "Friend, quit being mean to my friend."
Yeah.
You know, and
Oh,
and
that's
then I had
nice.
to,
I like that.
yeah, like
That's
you
soft
know,
and sweet.
yeah. And one time I said it, and she's like, "Who are you talking about?" And I said,
You.
"You, stop being mean to yourself." And so, I think my F no for the week is gonna be, negative talk to yourself.
Most
F no,
definitely.
we getting rid of that.
And my F no for this week will be settling. I think in life I've settled because that's all I knew how to do, is settle. And so I learned to settle in situations, environments, and people. And so, and I've always been told that I was a little judgmental. And so what created that is settling, right? Because I was trying to prove that I was not judgmental when I should have been judgmental. I don't care what nobody say. So, and so settling will be mine, is understanding your worth. And not that you're, when I say judgmental, not that you're better than this person, because I don't believe I'm better than everybody, but I am better than the situation that you're going to put me in.
Correct.
And so that's it. I learned that. I was hired in a lot of positions that I was in. I lowered my standards and I did not be my best self. So going forward on this chapter of my life, I cannot wait to see what God has in offer for me.
All right. So
thank you guys for listening, for tuning in, talking to me and Crystal.
Yes, this was the first part of a 3-part series. So the next series, we will have 2 women on who we admire and respect. You'll know more the next episode, but we're going to go through the search and the steps and how do we move from victim into victory with those ladies.
Thank you guys for joining. You have a beautiful, beautiful day.
And don't forget to tell us what your F no is.
Oh, and follow us, I believe they say, somewhere.
Follow us. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok.
Oh, there she go.